I don't know if there was a better story and perhaps a more unexpected story than the one that transpired between Ethyn Ewing and Malcolm Wellmaker. A week ago, we had Malcolm Wellmaker on the show. 6 days ago, at that time, we thought he was fighting Cody Haddon. And it seemed like everything was being built around him having this, unbelievable star-making performance on Saturday. He's 2-0 in the UFC, 2 incredible knockouts, the right hooks, the right hook contender series, former pipe fitter. I mean, just everything you want in a potential superstar, he has it. He's got it all. And he still has it all, by the way, despite what happened. But it just seemed like everything was kind of building for him to have a showcase fight and a showcase win. We find out on Thursday, Hatton out, he injured his foot as he's cutting weight, and they signed someone named Ethyn Ewing, who had just fought on November 8th in Uriah Faber's A1 Combat promotion, wins their interim bantamweight title, and he's taking a fight on 48 hours notice, essentially, against Malcolm Wellmaker. Well, you think like, hey, great job, way to step up, way to take your opportunity, way to seize the moment. It'll be a nice moment. It'll be, a good old college try. Wellmaker wins, you get signed, everyone's happy. Well, Ethyn Ewing did not get the memo, and he goes out there and he beats Malcolm Wellmaker via decision. And it's an unbelievable, inspiring performance. And now everyone knows who he is, and everyone's talking about him. Dana White's singing his praises, and I would imagine his life has changed for the better. Let's talk to Ethyn Ewing about an insane week right here now on the program. Hello, Ethyn. How are you? Nice to meet you, and congratulations.
I'm fantastic. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Can I ask you a question? A week ago, November 10th, what are you doing on a Monday a week ago? You're 2 days removed from your win in Uriah Faber's A1 Combat. What are you doing on this Monday afternoon exactly 7 days ago?
Well, against the better judgment of all my coaches and management and even my brother, I was eating some good food. I was relaxing. I was taking it in. I just came off a big win, first round, got the title. So I was taking a little bit of time, taking that day especially to just enjoy myself and to relax.
When you got that win, when you won that interim belt, like I said, on November 8th, did you think that was your ticket to the UFC? Did you think that your next fight would be in the UFC?
I certainly contemplated it. I talked about it a lot with people. I put it out there in the universe. Of course, I was skeptical, but I really hoped that it would be. Actually, in the back of my mind, in some place in my mind, I certainly thought it could be.
And by the way, this fight was 8 days prior. It was actually on November 7th, just for the record, so I don't want to screw it up. But 8 days, so on the Friday of last week, that's when you fought on November 7th in the main event of that A1 Combat show. And so it's Monday, you're eating good, you're chilling, Tuesday, Wednesday. What happens on Thursday? Can we get into this day? Because it's one of the best stories in recent memory. What happens? How does the first invitation to join this card come your way?
Hey, I set an alarm. I set 2 alarms. One was for 8:20, one was for 8:30. I was woken up around 9:30 to my phone buzzing. Actually, I think my wife woke me up because she had gotten some phone calls at that point. And everybody and their mother, our family friends, my sister, my dad, my coach, the management, everybody was blowing me up. And I called my dad first, I believe, because that's who had called my wife. And then he was fired up, ready to go. Hey, these guys are calling you. You better talk to coach right now. Let's get this thing going. And at first I was like, shut up, stop playing around, And lo and behold, I called those guys. They said there's an opportunity, there's a possibility. So the first thing I did was put on my gear. I went down to the gym. It's right down the street. And I started cutting weight. I started getting a sweat going. I went through the practice to do that. We were still kind of waiting. We had some doubts, went back and forth. I went to the sauna. And then it came down to a question of what medicals need to get done. And so they said, yeah, get these medicals done, and we're booking your flights and all this stuff. So yeah, it was incredible, man. I woke up to such a big surprise.
How much do you weigh when you wake up on that Thursday?
I said this before, but it's confidential information.
Why is that? We're trying to give you props here.
I know I'm being funny, but I was 157 that morning.
Okay, 157, and you had to make 146, right? Because this became a featherweight fight?
Yeah.
I
That's what it went back and forth, 140, 145, and they said 145 wasn't a problem. And to me, and hey, let's do it. I love that. So uh, yeah, I had to cut a little bit of weight, but at this point, I'm pretty good at it.
Obviously this is a dream come true, but in the back of your mind, are you thinking like, holy crap, like, am I going to be able to make this on essentially a day's notice? Because the weigh-ins are the next day.
Right. No, I mean 140 would have been a push, but I was full of food. I was full of water. It wasn't like I'd come off my camp where I was very strict. There's 2 months, maybe a little bit more than that, where the diet's perfect. The calories, the carbohydrates, the fats, everything's very calculated. Um, and so I had that 2 months, and when I do that, it's necessary for me to get down to that 135. When Thursday morning they called me and I saw 157, I was like, that's not exactly where I'd like it to be, but I'm full of food, I'm full of water. So I know that as I go and I cut the weight, I sweat it out, that it'll be a little bit easier to lose that weight.
Now, here's the thing. You live in California, right? In LA, in the LA area?
Yeah, I live in Orange County.
Orange County. Okay.
Mhm.
So you got to get to New York. What time is your flight on Thursday?
We flew out at 11 o'clock at night.
11 p.m. So
So
essentially a red eye.
yeah, red eye.
Okay.
Exactly.
What time do you land in New York on Friday morning?
So we touched down at like 6:30 ish.
Yo, this
And
is
then, I
crazy,
mean,
man. This is crazy. The
New
weigh-ins are at 9, right?
Yeah, New York traffic. Like I said, I work in LA. I'm a safety professional. I have a safety company, so it's actually funny that Malcolm comes from that construction background. I know all about those guys, but um, yeah, I thought LA traffic was bad, man. New York was bumper to bumper. The driving there is crazy. It's insane. So 6:30 we got there. I didn't get to the hotel till after 8 o'clock. I ran up there. I checked my weight, and then I was on the official scale immediately. It was go 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 from the moment we touched down.
It's unbelievable. I mean, I've been covering the UFC for a long time, this sport. I don't remember a story quite like this one in the UFC. You hear it on the regional scene, but not quite in the UFC. When you get to the hotel, you check your weight. How much do you weigh at that point?
I was 145.4, point 6, so
Damn.
I was on weight.
Okay.
Yeah, because that morning I woke up, I cut like 11, 12 pounds, and then I didn't eat or drink anything the whole day. I drove all throughout LA getting medicals done. I jumped on that plane. My mouth was dry the whole day. I was a little shrunk up, but I knew I had cut that weight and was ready to go come the
So
next day.
so by the time you step on the scale, like you haven't really trained or anything like that. Are you even thinking of Malcolm? Are you even game planning? Are you talking to your coaches? Are you watching video on the plane?
Man, it's so crazy how life works and how everything just works in general. There's been a couple instances where there was talks of possibly the UFC calling me up, and Malcolm was always on that card. In my mind, I just knew they were giving me a big name like that if that was the opportunity that arose. And no, I didn't really game plan at all. We watched a little bit of his videos. There's not much out there besides his older stuff. I knew that big right hand was coming. I knew that's what he had. I knew he's a large individual. He's very big and very strong for the weight class. So, being patient was kind of really the only game plan I had. Southpaw, orthodox, it doesn't matter to me. I've prepared for both. I've worked very intensely in both. I'm in preparation for both styles and stances. So I just knew that big right hand was coming. I knew that was his moneymaker. I knew he could throw that hook from the left as well. And other than that, man, being patient was what I needed to do.
One thing when someone's making their UFC debut, especially on a stage like this, Madison Square Garden, I believe first time in New York, right?
Oh yeah.
So it's like all this stuff. You don't even have time to get nervous, right? And maybe that's a gift. You don't even have time to overthink it. But like by the time the ceremonial weigh-ins are happening, Dana White's standing next to you. You're facing off. There's a crowd of people. You're in the Big Apple of all places. Literally, like 36 hours prior, you're sleeping in on a Thursday, just thinking that you're enjoying this A1 combat win. At any point, are you like, holy shit, how did this all happen? How did I get here? This is before the fight now. Like, do you have any time to even process any of this?
Uh a very short amount of time. It was very quick. It was up and down emotions and roller coasters. And I do a pretty good job when it comes to handling a lot all at once. That's how I live my life. Like I said, I work as a safety professional in LA. I leave the house at 5 a.m. I get back from work. I go straight to boxing, and I go straight to grappling. The days I have available, I'll spar in the mornings, and I'll train all day. So yeah, I got a baby boy on the way. I juggle so many different things all the time that I'm used to it at this point. But of course, that people call it nerves. I call it energy. It's really all about how you control it and what you create out of it. So the energy was there, man. Sitting in the back in that UFC locker room with all my gear and all the fighters that I watched on the TV that I've seen many times perform on the stage. To be there, to be at Madison Square Garden, getting ready to walk out was insane. As soon as they put my highlights on the screen, though, I already knew that's where I belonged, but it settled in. I walked out to my song, um, and when I touched that UFC canvas, man, all the weight shed off me. It was almost like I recall it like I was becoming animalistic. I was turning into this monster, this persona, and so there was tons of energy. I think it was a blessing to not sit and think about it for 2 months, but I said yes before they even told me who it was. And then once I said yes, they said Malcolm Wellmaker's the guy, and I was like, of course it is. Who better? So it's a whirlwind, lots of emotions, lots of energy, but yeah, I've been battle tested, and I've been preparing for this for a long time.
And your post fight interview was tremendous as well. The sword is deadliest in calm hands. Were you coming up with this stuff after a 15-minute fight at Madison Square Garden, your UFC debut? You went on 48 hours notice. And is this just part of who you are? Have you been like, do you subscribe to this? And where does that originate? Where does that line come from?
Oh yeah, I'm a warrior through and through. Like I said, I've been battle tested and I've been prepared. And that preparation, everybody sees what happened at Madison Square Garden, and that's the big, astounding moment. But I live my life this way. I sacrifice everything to it. Like I said, I do this. I work all day. I train all night. I do my strength and conditioning. I go and I box all day, and then I hit my 15 minutes of jump rope straight, and my push-ups, my sit-ups, my sprints, my whatever is required of me that day. My wife is 9 months pregnant, so maybe I go pick up the groceries. I'm starving. I haven't eaten yet. I've trained all day. That's a beautiful picture
Yes, well
of
done.
it.
Well done.
And then I'm starving. I'm tired. My knees hurt. I drop the stuff off. I put my running shoes on and I go and I hit the track. I hit the streets because I know if I sit around and I wait, then I may not do it. So of course I subscribe to this fully. This is what I wanted to. This is what I am. This is what I do. Um,
We still got you.
okay, sorry. Trying to turn that off real quick.
No problem.
Yeah, so exactly. This is who I am. I'm a warrior. I've been made for this. I've been bred for this, and it's constantly on my mind. Quotes from the greatest individuals. You have your Bruce Lees. Mike Tyson has said some amazing things. You have your warriors of times long ago. Um, these are the things that run through my mind all the time. So a
After the
quote like that is always fresh on it.
it was incredible post fight interview. After the fight, I believe you spoke to Dana White face to face. What was that like?
That was awesome. I got to go and see the room where all the people were. I got to shake hands and say my hellos, talk to the boss man directly. It was surreal. It was super awesome.
What did he say to
I'm
you?
looking. Well, at the weigh-ins, actually, he told me, "Hey, this is the first time I'm hearing about this story." He's like, "Wow, congratulations, man. That's awesome." So to get props sitting out on stage for the first time in front of a UFC crowd was cool. And then he said similar things. Wow, that was amazing. Your performance was awesome. Um, you know, and after I had gone and I had won, he just gave me my props and he told me that he's going to take care of me. So um, yeah, everything is just so cool, man. This
Yeah,
whole moment, everything is awesome.
I can't imagine. You're about to become a dad, right? Your first child, right?
Yep.
Surreal stuff. You mentioned your day job. Are you going to stay with the day job?
Um, That's who was actually calling me. My boss was giving me a call. Uh, I'm gonna stay with it for a little bit. I need to get things more solidified, but no, I'm moving parts so that this could be everything I do.
Sure. It was interesting when you said that you work in, you said safety, so you know about like the pipe fitters and whatnot. When you say that, are you suggesting like they're troublemakers? You got to make sure those guys are on the straight and narrow. What do you mean by that when you say you know all about those guys?
Uh, there's a lot of troublemakers in the construction industry. There's a lot of personalities. I'm not saying anything about Malcolm because he's such a
Sure.
stand-up dude. I just want to put that out there. But yeah, I know those tough, those roughneck kind of guys. I know the tough personalities. They give you a hard time, and I do a lot of mitigating and controlling that in what I do. So I think that gave me a one up going into all this.
What would you say about Malcolm after this? Because when someone gets a lot of buzz, a lot of hype, and then they stumble, people want to say, this guy was a never was, jump off the bandwagon, all this stuff. Do you think that he is who we thought he was, and that he'll just get back on track here?
Hey, I've fought a lot of individuals in my time, and Malcolm is legitimate. All the fraud check stuff is ridiculous. I think that takes away from what I went out and did out there as well, because
Hmm.
he's a very talented individual. He's, like I said, he's very big and he's very strong for that weight class, and he has certainly cemented a great name for himself. So I think from the very beginning he was very cool, very cordial, very respectful. So I have to be thankful to him for that. I think that maybe I think everybody overlooked me. I think with the hype around Malcolm that everybody overlooked me. So um, that's pretty much it. I think he's a great guy. All respect to him.
Do you think he overlooked you, or do you think he just didn't have time to prepare for you? Like you were the great unknown, and you caught him.
Well, maybe there's a little bit of both.
Sure,
Like I
sure.
said, I think everybody. Um, you know, you I stayed away from the Instagram comments, but uh, you could see a lot of people were thinking I was a lamb to the slaughter, and I knew that wasn't the case. Like I said, I've known that I belong on the stage for a long time, and it was just my time to go out there and show people.
A lot of jokes. I know you were asked about this afterwards about a Ewing competing at Madison Square Garden. It just so happens Patrick Ewing, who I'm sure you've heard of now, is my favorite athlete of all time. That's my guy. I even have a toy of him back here. This is how big of a loser I am, Ethyn. I have a toy of Patrick Ewing right here. Show it to Ethyn right here. This is my Patrick Ewing doll that I have right here. That's how much I love
Okay.
the Ewings. Be honest with me. Had you ever heard of Patrick Ewing before Saturday?
Yeah, of course
Okay.
I've heard of him. I'm not a big sports guy. This is what I do. If I put on a sports event, it's the UFC, it's MMA, it's combat. It's one of those things. So of course I know who he is. Would I be able to tell you any of his accolades or tell you what he did in game six or whatever? No, but I know who he is.
Did you look up at the rafters? Your name is up there. Did you happen to see his name up there in the rafters? Your name as well, Ewing 33.
Not in that moment, no. Maybe I'll have to see some more pictures of that.
Sure.
There was in the crowd, and I did take in how large the stadium was, though.
It felt like it was meant to be. Ewing's in Madison Square Garden. They are synonymous. What did you think of New York overall? I know you were there in and out because you're back home now, right?
Yes, yep. Sitting in my house. New York was very cool. I think partially because I had to do such a good job of not letting the moment be bigger than it was. I think that kind of dimmed down everything. But the night before my fight, I went out and I sat in Times Square. I looked at all the lights. I took in the crowd and the ambiance, and it was cool, man. It was very cool. It was everything I thought it would be.
Man, that just gave me chills. I can't imagine like going the night before your UFC debut and you're getting it, like a day prior, you're back home. Even being home now, does it feel like all of this was a dream? Like you just left, you went, you won, everyone knows you now you're just back in the same spot. Is it hard to comprehend now? I can imagine.
Yeah, it still doesn't feel real, but when Joe Rogan followed me this morning and I got Bruce Buffer's number last night or yesterday at the airport, uh, now it feels real. Now it's
Wow.
all
You
now it's
made it.
all big time. So yeah,
I
it's
love that.
I just this is just the beginning though. So there's a lot of preparation. There's a lot more to come with all this.
By the way, what did Bruce say to you? I saw him say something to you as you were leaving the cage.
He just congratulated me and just, because I actually had spoke with him when we landed in New York. He was on the same flight as myself and my team. And so he gave me props there for taking the fight on short notice. And then after, same thing, just congratulated me, said how awesome it was to not only take it on short notice, but to go out and get that win. So he's a very cool guy.
By the way, a lot of talk about your Tapology picture. Is this really you? This picture that's being passed around on the internet? This guy.
Oh, yeah.
Is that you? And when is that
Oh, yeah.
from?
That's a handsome young man right there.
It is.
That's I don't remember what. It was either for Tapology or for one of the amateur events. They told me they needed a picture with a white background, so I went out and I snapped a photo.
Man. By the way, the name Ethyn, the way it's spelled, very unique. Why is that? How did that come about?
So my family's all like that. I'm the oldest of 8.
Wow.
There's a lot of names, but everybody's got that Y in it. So
Why
my
is
parents
that?
thought they wanted to do something unique.
Okay.
And in their thought process, that's what they came up with. We need to have something special and unique for these guys.
Are you having a boy or a girl?
I'm having a baby boy.
Any chance you'll call him Patrick?
My wife picked out a name already,
Okay.
so
All right.
I'd have another fight coming up if I wanted to change it.
No, you don't want that smoke. You don't want that smoke.
Exactly, I don't.
Well, enjoy everything, man. What a freaking story. Unbelievable to watch it just unfold as the fight was going on. You fought brilliantly. I think the world of Malcolm, and you went out there and won fair and square, and the judges got it right. There's always a concern that maybe they're going to lean towards the superstar, the fixture. They did not do that, and props to you for taking the fight, for making weight, for fighting the way in which you did, and for having this sort of composure about it. It's really, really impressive. Again, congratulations. Thanks for coming on, and good luck, of course, with the upcoming birth. I can't imagine how exciting all of this is for you and your family, so enjoy it all.
Well, cool. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you having me on here, and I will, man. Just one step at a time.
Thank you. All the best to you, Ethyn. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
There he is, Ethyn Ewing, who is now 1-0 in the UFC. An unbelievable story that unfolded in just the span of a couple of days. I thought he said he feels like now it's real because Joe Rogan followed him and Bruce Buffer gave him his number. I thought he was gonna say like he's on this show too, but I guess we didn't reach that point, Frank, yet in terms of like making it. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
Thanks for watching this video. Before you go, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for us. Also, give us a thumbs up, leave a nice comment. These things go a long way. And while you're here, do check out the rest of the channel. We've got live shows and full interviews, clips, and a whole lot more. We're doing big things here, and we appreciate your support very much.